A youth have asked, I want to give my life to Christ, but there are so many temptations, even from my family members. What should I do?
Now, that's important. You should decide.
Decide.
You should decide. Now, let me just share a scripture in the book of Luke, chapter 14. Jesus said something very instructive. Luke chapter 14, in verse 26. Jesus said, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sister, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
Mm.
The word hate there does not mean you have an enmity with them. That's not the meaning. But the meaning is that you love God above every other person. That's why I say, even including your own self. If you read the book of Ephesians, the Bible says, no man yet hated his own flesh. So scripture don't contradict. So it's just trying to tell you the strength of the world, how you need to love God above every other person. So there is no excuse that the presentation is coming from my parents or it's coming from my particular friend and it's difficult for me to resist. No. If you look at the life of Daniel in Babylon, Bible says he purposed in his heart, he decided in his heart that he will not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat. So that decision is important. And you might have heard about D's of success, or several D's of success. You might have heard about 3 D's, you might have heard about 4 D's, you might have heard about 7 D's, you might have also have heard about 10 D's of success. But now, these D's of success are important. You need to decide. You need to decide. So Daniel decided. So that's how kept him. Joseph was another youth in Egypt, but he decided. The pressure came from the woman. What kind of pressure could be greater than that? From the boss in the house and the woman of the house. But he decided he was not going to do it. So make up your mind. That's what you need to do. Decide and be determined. And there is nothing impossible to somebody that's determined. So that's what I'm going to say about that. So decide, determined, then discipline yourself. That's another thing there. You need to be disciplined. Paul the Apostle said, I keep my body under. So that after preaching to others, I will not be a castaway. So these deeds of success are very, very important if you are going to be a Christian. But chiefly, you need to decide. Because when you have decided, any other thing that follows, you have already decided. So those become secondary.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.